Call meeting to order. If you all will rise, we'll ask Commissioner Magoo to lead us in our invocation. And Mr. Wershowitz, you'll lead us in on our pledge.
Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Lord, today we give thanks for our city and for the good quality of life that we enjoy and for the health and safety that we strive for each day. We are thankful for our city workers that labor every day to make our city a place we can be proud of. We ask today for wisdom and guidance over this Board of Mayor and Commissioners as we strive to make the right decisions for our city and its citizens. Bless us today, we pray always. In Jesus' name, amen.
Let us stand and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Good and Mr. Wersh. We appreciate that. All right, motion to receive and file the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion to receive and file the minutes for the regular meeting of September the 9th, 2025, the recess meeting of September the 16th, and the regular meeting of September the 25th.
So moved.
Second.
Any additions or corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we'll move into our hearings and reports. We'll start out here with Mr. Renfro.
Well, thanks for full house in here today. First thing I want to start off with, our community lost two very fine people lately, Dickie Martin and Jerry Johnson. I won't go into a long spiel on either one of them, although I believe Dickie was the GOAT of high school broadcasting.
Absolutely.
And Jerry Johnson made art look so easy that it was frustrating to watch him. Several years ago in November, I watched him do one of the businesses down here for Christmas, and it was amazing to sit there and watch him. Second of all, the parking ordinance. I stopped into Uncle Paul and Missy's restaurant yesterday, and she was very, very pleased with how it was going, and commented on the parking enforcement guy, she called him, how great he was, and she really has a lot of respect for him. We're going to get into the wastewater treatment plant here in the old business, the first item up here. But what I wanted to say today was we entered into an agreement with the state and feds in 2007 to do this. That was 18 years ago. And in 2010, under Mayor Tom Kelly, Commissioner Larry Brown, Kevin Gunderson, Cheryl Spriggs, and our own Marty Goot, they put a CSO charge on our utility bill. And I'm sure they caught a lot of flack for that. They raised the rates. But I also want to tell you now that they did that, today we have $24 million to go towards that wastewater treatment plant. I want to publicly thank you, Marty, and the rest of the commissioners for having the foresight back there to do that.
We're good. To piggyback on Mr. Martin
Finished.
and Jerry Johnson, that we'll recess or adjourn in their memory today.
Very good. The other thing I want to talk about, and you might want to start the clock on me, Mayor. I've been on this job now for 10 months. I've loved every minute of it. But the one thing that gets to me is disinformation. And there's no need in disinformation nowadays. You can do a little research to straighten things out. I read a letter to the editor yesterday in the paper talking about, pretty much said we were non-union. We didn't want to hire a local company to build a wastewater treatment plant. I just want to say this. That was a bid process. We didn't just pick somebody to be picking them. They got the bid. The author of the thing said we weren't going to hire local people. Well, the company, Judy, who is going to be awarded that contract, pretty much assured us they were going to hire some local people. And in fact, in the bid opening, in the room, we had 2 members of the trade council, 2 officers, there with us, and assured us, hey, this is a good company. No problems were noted from them. They claimed that Judy wasn't a local company. Well, we had 5 bids. Judy's from Cynthiana, about 2 hours away. Dugan and Myers from Louisville, Cincinnati, Columbus area. Bowen's from Indianapolis. Orders Construction from Withville, Virginia. And Smith was out of Lawrenceburg. Not only was Judy the closest, they were the cheapest by far. So a little research would have gone to tell you that we did the right thing. The last thing I'm going to say is when you kind of act like we're not friendly to unions, that's bullcrap. There's no doubt in my mind this board right here is the most friendly towards unions of any board that's ever set up here. There's no doubt in my mind on that. We're paying the people that was going to work on that, it's going to be getting prevailing wage. So I don't want to hear that crap. Disinformation is just that. It's wrong. It needs to be called out. And I appreciate you.
Brower?
Well, I'm not going to speak as long as Commissioner Renfro did, but I echo his sentiments. I appreciate everybody coming out today. It's an exciting day to see some promotions in the Ashland Fire Department and to see everybody that's come out for that, their friends and family. A couple things that I want to touch on, and get a lot of my information actually from Mr. Mike Maynard. He sends out some emails to an interagency group, and he keeps the members of the group well informed with some community calendar events. So I'm going to touch on a few of them real quick. October 22nd, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., they're having a free flu shot clinic at Hillcrest Spruce Mission. On October 23rd, there's a candlelight vigil being held at 5 p.m. at Safe Harbor. October 26th, the Cosmic Holler Film Fest at Camp Landing, and that's at 2 p.m. And on October 30th, Trick or Treat in Ashland, 6 to 7:30. So that's all I've got today.
Okay.
Thanks for coming out today. It continues to be a privilege to serve you and address the issues that you have, and that's what we're here to do. Thank you.
We just want to welcome everybody to this last meeting of the month, and we have a lengthy agenda with the pinning of a couple of our finest from the fire department. I want to invite everybody right here in the chambers and also in our viewing audience. We're going to have a volunteer project. We're going to paint the Salvation Army shelter on Saturday. The clients leave at 7 a.m. and they return at 7 p.m., so we have a 12-hour opening. Now, I'm a praying kind of guy, and I believe in prayer. I've prayed up here for many years. I get to pray at the high school for 7 or 8 times during the week with my kids, and so I didn't know where I was going to get this paint. So I'm a list kind of guy. I go by a list each day, and I pull over to the side of the road and I said, Lord, I need paint. And so the next thing on my list was the vet. I had an appointment at the vet because I got a fat dog. He needs thyroid pills. So I went to the vet and I opened the door and I saw Larry Adams there. I said, Larry, I need paint. We walked outside in 30 minutes and he said, meet the guy down there. I met a guy at the Salvation Army. He said, I'll donate 25 gallons of paint. That's what you need. And I'll be down here to help you paint. So if you can spare an hour or two, come on down Saturday. Tonight, I invite you to Putnam Stadium. It is the 73rd annual Kiwanis Bowl. It's the longest running bowl game in high school football history, in Kentucky history. And it'll start at 7 o'clock. We lost 2 of our finest here in the city. Dickie Martin was my friend since Oakview School. His father, Dick, was a successful mayor here many years ago. And I lost a good friend. He was one of a kind, the best. And Jerry Johnson he was a talent, just a gifted artist that was a great man that was I would see at Waffle House every Saturday. So I will miss Jerry and miss his contribution to our city. Thank you.
Well, I echo a lot of your all's comments, and the only one that I do have to add, the Northeastern Kentucky Chamber had a excellent annual dinner last week, and one of the things that they announced on their accomplishments, they have 400 plus now businesses that are involved in with the chamber, and I think that's an excellent accomplishment. But to move things on, we'll move to our city manager.
Thank you. I'd request Fire Chief Alley to come forward for a brief presentation, kind of a status update on the fire department.
Mayor and Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to come and report to you all today. First thing that I want to bring up is our mission, vision, and value statement that you see before you. I won't read the whole thing to you, but this is a statement that we have hanging in all of our facilities to remind each and every one of us why we are there and what we are providing to the community that we serve. Next slide, please. You'll see that today's Ashland Fire Department, we consist of 56 members. We have authorized positions, 1 chief, 1 deputy chief, fire marshal, fire inspector, 1 administrative assistant, 3 battalion chiefs, 12 captains, 15 engineers, and 21 firefighters. Next slide. We operate 3 shifts from 3 stations. We staff on the daily 3 engine companies, 1 rescue company, an aerial company, and a battalion chief. We've logged, we logged last year 2,414 emergency responses to incidents. This year we have answered 2,072. We have logged 8,100 various activities this year. And an activity, to give you an example of what that is, anytime maintenance is performed on something, anytime a detail is done, maintenance-wise or public-wise, we do a log entry on, which details what our people are getting done on the daily. If you look at the averages percentages, 62% of our responses deal with fire and rescue incidents, while 38% deal with emergency responses. One thing that I'm very proud of, and as a testament to our department, the members that make up our department, in 2015, we were able to obtain an insurance services organization rating of a Class 2. We are one of 940 departments that are measured within the Commonwealth of Kentucky. As you can see with the graph here on the left, we are one of 51 Class 2 departments in the state. If we look at across the country, there was 38,195 departments that were evaluated by ISO. We are one of 2,004 that obtained a Class 2 rating. This rating is due to, the rating is based upon how well a department is set up to answer structure fire type responses. It also grades the department not only on their resources and their equipment, it grades them on their training, it grades them on their dispatching procedures, it grades them on their water supply and their community risk reduction efforts. All of these things are done by the members you see here. They are the ones out completing the task, logging the information, which gets us to where we need to be. Next slide, please. In 2023, when I first became chief, I was tasked with completing a strategic plan. Together with members from all ranks of our department, we came up with a plan that was going to get us through the year 2028. I am happy to report that we are around 70 to 75% successful in completing a lot of what that plan has outlined thus far. We've had upgrades to PPE, which allowed us to provide 2 sets of protective clothing to each of our members. We have had upgrades in equipment, which include hose, hand tools, and rescue equipment. We've had additional mental health services and cancer screenings for early detection of occupational cancers that we have worked on to get for each and every one of our members. We've had various station improvements at all 3 stations, and we have improved our procedures in enhancing our fire investigations through utilizing our fire marshal. The Ashland Fire Department, when it comes to grant funding, we continue to seek out grants actively. Since 2015, the Ashland Fire Department has obtained $1,785,535 in various grants. Just this year, we received $44,000 in grants that will allow us to do upgrades at our drill tower. And all of these grants have been obtained through in-house resources. In other words, these members you see back here get together and they write these grants and submit them. Next slide, please. In 2021, our department branched out into a new service area in offering tech rescue and specialized rescue with the purchase of Rescue 1 that you see in the picture here. This truck carries various equipment that we can use in technical rescue situations that not only benefit our citizens, but also benefit the entire region. Crews that are assigned to this vehicle hold certifications in those disciplines. And again, that is additional work that they put in as a commitment to the community and the citizens that we serve. You see in this picture here, we utilized the pond during last winter to do some ice rescue training. This is just another aspect of the commitment our members have in increasing their skill sets. We are also very active with the Kentucky USAR initiative. Next week, we obtain a trailer that is going to be able to be utilized for collapse rescue response. That trailer will be here hopefully next week, and we'll start getting it in service. But this is just another example that was purchased through a grant. And that is another example of the USAR initiative and how it's benefiting various departments. Currently, we have approximately 23 members that have applied for positions as deployable positions on that task force. If they are deployed, we will be reimbursed for their cost of being deployed, plus filling their backfill personnel while they're gone. When we get into training, you can see this is a picture of our training facility. We've had several upgrades at that location. ISO requires us to get, on average, about 250 hours of training per year per member. We also have to keep 100 hours of continuing education for the Fire Commission. All of our members are certified to EMT Basic, and that requires 20 hours of additional training every 2 years. And that's not to mention the specialty rescue training that we have. Next slide, please. And when we talk about fire prevention and public education, this year's statistics, we've had 273 fire inspections completed this year, 44 fire inspection consultations completed this year, 208 pre-plans conducted by fire suppression personnel this year. That's where we go into businesses, look at them, see where items are, see how we can work with that business in finding shut-offs and stuff in case of an emergency happens at that location. We've installed 292 smoke detectors in 105 residences so far this year. And we've had around 15,775 public education contacts this year alone. We also service and maintain 1,037 hydrants. And our last slide, these are some new deliveries. Again, these deliveries would not be possible without the support of you as the commission. And we greatly appreciate these new additions that we have had to our department. And that is my report.
An outstanding report.
Thank you, Chief.
I know we've almost became a regional training center.
Yes, sir.
And can you mention how many other departments we may have helped to train?
At various times this year, we have had a structural collapse class. I believe we had 19 different departments represented from the Commonwealth. We also did some live burn training where we had around a dozen departments from around the Commonwealth represented. So yes, we are becoming somewhat of a center to be able to complete training at that level for firefighters, not only within our own area, but across the Commonwealth.
Excellent report. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you all.
Any other?
No, sir.
Bring up? All right. We'll move into our public participation. If there's anyone that would like to address the commission, you have the opportunity to do that. You're allowed 5 minutes. We ask that you have one person per subject, talk about the problems you'd like to bring to the commission. Did anyone like to address the commission? Yes, sir. If you'll come to the podium, state your name and your address.
Private First Class Mike Words, 1st Infantry. I live at 804 East Street, Ashland, Kentucky. On November the 10th, at the Veterans Cemetery, we'll be putting flags out for Veterans Day. I encourage everybody who's never been in that cemetery and see the flags on it. You don't know how, it looks like a small Arlington. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Mike.
Right. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good morning. Having been a patron of the Ashland Senior Center, a local nonprofit.
State your name and your
Yes,
address.
Victor Wilson, 1111 First Circle Prospect Avenue, Ashland, Kentucky. Having been a patron of the Ashland Senior Center since 2009, which is 16 years, I guess. The Ashland Senior Center is a local nonprofit, and our director, Cheryl Spriggs, can't be with us today because her sister has an abdominal aneurysm and is being operated on at this time by Dr. Minion. And she's asked me to read a letter to you that she had written. And the subject involved is parking for our seniors. And I'll draw your attention to what you've been provided. These permits were issued in 2017 as a temporary parking permit back when we had parking meters. And it allowed participants at the senior center to park without being subject to tickets between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. 3 days a week when we are open, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We hope that these are still valid and that we can still take advantage of them under the new parking instructions. But this is Cheryl's letter. Dear Mayor and Commissioners, we at the Ashland Senior Center are concerned about parking for seniors on 15th Street. For many years, the seniors have parked here with a blessing from the city on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. They were even issued parking permits in 2017 when meters were still in use, so they could park here during center hours. It has been suggested that the seniors park in the parking garage or the Paramount Arts Center parking lot, but this is not practical for many of our seniors who have back, knee, or feet issues. Also, as you know, seniors of this age are prone to falls, which poses this question: will the city be liable for such a fall when seniors make their way to the center? Another suggestion is that the seniors park at the transportation center and a bus will take them to the center and back. While I appreciate this suggestion, it's problematic because the seniors who do drive want to be able to leave when they want to and not wait for a bus. Since its inception in 1971, the city has been accommodating for seniors parking on 15th Street, and I am asking the Commission to continue that consideration and generosity by issuing those parking permits once again to the seniors, because a very serious concern is that the seniors stop coming to the center over this issue. If that happens, there will be no center. I thank you for all of your generosity to the center and your consideration in this matter. Sincerely, Cheryl W. Spriggs, Director. And I'll add my own comment. As a nonprofit activity, which the Ashland Senior Center is, we exist through the charity of the United Way and various people who assist us. But we are freestanding, and this is one way that the city can contribute to our nonprofit is by permitting parking during these specific hours without being subject to ticketing. I thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you for your comments. Any other would like to address the commission? Yes, sir. If you'll state your name and your address, please.
He's on
Yeah, I was kind of, I'm on the agenda for later. I didn't know if I
this
should.
is for items that aren't on the agenda.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
You'll have your opportunity. Any others?
So if it's on the agenda, can you still?
You just wait till.
Just
the
wait till they,
item comes up.
we bring it up. Any others? Hearing none, we'll move into our old business. Mr. Wheeler, item A.
Second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Judy Construction Company for the Ashland Water Resource Recovery Facility Expansion and Improvement Project in the amount of $99,782,000 for the Department of Utilities.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item B.
Second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a construction contract between the City of Ashland and Cosby Construction LLC for sidewalk replacement project Phase 3 in the amount of $280,716 for the Department of Engineering.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item C.
Second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky establishing the cost for services at the Ashland Cemetery for the Department of Public Services Division of Parks and Recreation as recommended and approved by the Ashland Cemetery Board and repealing ordinance number 6, series of 2010.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Long time coming.
Yes, and good timing. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item D.
Second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, amending Article 25 of the agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Ashland City Police Members Fraternal Order of Police, Ashland Lodge Number 3, as adopted by ordinance number 193, series of 2021, and amended by ordinance number 100, series of 2022, ordinance number 120, series of 2022, ordinance number 75, series of 2023, and ordinance number 89, series of 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item E.
Second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an amended access agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Cleveland Cliffs Steel Corporation, allowing the City of Ashland access to property owned by Cleveland Cliffs for the purpose of staging construction trailers and construction materials for the expansion of the city's wastewater treatment plant.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Wheeler, is there a time limit that we can utilize this, or just during the construction, or?
Off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure, Mayor, but they're being very willing to work with us.
Work, okay, good.
Or actually, Mark Hall might be able to advise.
Yeah, the original agreement, I think it was supposed to run through 2029. We're
Okay.
requesting a little bit longer on that, through 2030, so we can get past construction.
Okay, so
basically.
we're covered on it, that's good.
Yes.
Okay, that's my question. All right, any other? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, item F, Mr. Wheeler.
Second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, and this was tabled from September 16th, 2025's recess meeting. An ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, repealing ordinance number 13, series of 1939, which prohibited the practice of palmistry, phrenology, and fortune-telling in any way in the City of Ashland, Kentucky.
Move that it be retabled to the first meeting in November.
I second that.
We have a first and a second for the tabling. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. All right, let's move to our consent agenda.
Obviously, that's to give time for the preparation of the regulatory ordinance.
So there's no lapse, I guess, right. Okay. All right, consent agenda.
A resolution of the City of Ashland, Kentucky adopting, authorizing, and approving the course of action presented by the city manager on the items appearing on the consent agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of City Commissioners of October 23rd, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? Yeah, item A is, I didn't see where that was a budgeted item, that $767,000, Mr. Graham.
That's finance department or engineering.
So for the Spring Park, off the top of my head, I don't know the exact budgeted amount, but it was around 500 and some thousand. So it is over what the budget amount was.
How much was budgeted?
500 and some thousand. We can send you an email with the exact amount, but it is 100 and some $1,000 over. But we do plan to do a change order at the November meeting.
Where did this number come from? Was it a proposal? Is it being done internally? How's the work being performed?
This 767 was a bid that we received from Southern Ohio.
This project had to be bid twice, correct?
It did, yes. It was bid out last year, and I believe the amount that Southern Ohio bid last year is what we budgeted for this year, and then the price has increased $100-some thousand.
Is it higher with the second bid than it was from the first bid?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, but it was higher this year substantially compared to last year.
Why was it necessary to bid it a second time?
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle, I think that they tried to get Spring Park in with ARPA funds last year, but it wasn't able to be allocated through ARPA funds.
And we have adequate funds. We received over $1 million in a settlement on PFAS money, so there is adequate funds to cover it without, and a budget amendment will be done.
Cover the difference, is that
Yes,
what you're
we
saying?
have $1 million in funds that we received.
But we will be doing a budget amendment
Yes,
next
yes.
meeting.
Yeah, obviously, we'll need to amend the budget. Thank you both.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, discussions? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, let's move into our pinning ceremony. Gentlemen, if you all can come up and bring your loved ones. Jesse first. All right, exciting times here today. Engineer Jesse Sturgill began his employment with the Ashland Fire Department on February of the 10th of 2020. He has obtained his IFSAC certifications as a driver, operator, and rope rescue technician. Engineer Sturgill also assists with pump maintenance duties on all apparatus. Engineer Sturgill will be promoted effective October the 22nd, 2025, and his assignment is to the 2nd Platoon, Engine 1. Engineer, would you raise your right hand? Do you, Engineer Jesse Sturgill, solemnly swear to continue to serve the citizens of the city of Ashland in your new capacity in a compassionate manner with courage and integrity, to put others before you and to accept the sacrifices needed to serve our community, And do you swear to uphold the laws and the Constitution of the United States, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the city of Ashland, so help you God? If so, answer, I will. Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
If you will.
I seriously doubt if they were issued by the city. I think they just.
Yes? Very good. Congratulations. Kenton? All right. Captain Kenton Baker began his employment with the Ashland Fire Department on July the 15th, 2019. He previously served as a firefighter with the Nicholasville Fire Department. Captain Baker was promoted to engineer on December the 13th, 2024. He has obtained his IFSAC certification as a driver operator, fire instructor, rope rescue technician, and he has a master's degree from Eastern Kentucky University in safety and security and emergency management. Captain Baker will be promoted effective October the 26th, 2025, and he is assigned to his 1st Platoon Engineer, or Engine 1. Captain, if you will raise your right hand. Do you, Captain Kenton Baker, solemnly swear to continue to serve the citizens of the city of Ashland to your new capacity in a compassionate manner with courage and integrity, to put others before you and to accept the sacrifices needed to serve our community? And do you swear to uphold the laws and the Constitution of the United States, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the city of Ashland? So help you God. If so, answer, I will.
I will.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Depend about everybody in the department.
It seems like it.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, let's move on to our new business. Mr. Wheeler, item A.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, amending the City of Ashland Flexible Spending Plan adopted by ordinance number 86, 2020, as previously amended, as recommended by McGregor and Associates, Inc., pursuant to federal guidelines.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item B.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement with Community Assistance Referral Service, Inc., CARES, the subrecipient of $40,000 for office renovation from the Community Development Block Grant.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item C.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement with Hillcrest Bruce Mission, the subrecipient of $50,000 for HVAC replacement and installation from the Community Development Block Grant.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item D.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an amendment number 2 to the agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Strand Associates, Inc., retaining Strand to provide engineering services for final design and construction services for the wastewater treatment plant expansion and improvements project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
We amended this on the STAG money, but does anybody know what this specifically addresses? I'm sure that you know, I didn't phrase that exactly.
So we were approved for this grant, but during the process, one thing that they recommended is the language that was written here below, that we list the CFR specifically in the ordinance or the amendment itself.
Just
So it's
changing
just
the
going
wording,
back
right?
to change,
Cleaning
up the language. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item E,
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Wiser Industrial Coatings, Inc. for the Logtown Water Storage Tank Rehabilitation Project in the amount of $502,170 for the Department of Utilities."
So moved.
Second.
discussion?
It's a budgeted item, correct?
It is.
That's what I said.
I think we had a couple of them in the budget, I think. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item F,
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a real estate purchase agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and the William D. Ingalls and Janet M. Ingalls Family Living Revocable Trust for the purchase by the City of Ashland of a portion of the William D. Ingalls and Janet M. Ingalls Family Living Revocable Trust property, Deed Book 814, page 383, a portion of Lot 40 of the Means and Russell Iron Company's Bellefonte Furnace land located on Bodris Drive in Boyd County, Kentucky, in the amount of $16,000, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents associated with and/or necessary to complete said purchase of real property.
So moved.
Second.
discussion?
Can you tell us, Mr. Wheeler, what this is all about?
Sure. As part of the ARPA, I believe it was initially, Barry, come on up, you can help. I believe as part of the ARPA money allocation last year, there was a booster pump station and emergency generator project that was planned. And the initial property that was selected, not by Director Adkins, but by his predecessor, ended up being a property that we couldn't use. And so this purchase, which you all authorized us to negotiate at the end of last meeting, is to allow the city to purchase property so that those ARPA funds can be used for that project in place of where that other project was going to be located, because that property couldn't be used. So basically, that other property had a lot of, not necessarily restrictions, but it had some issues as far as lien holders and issues. Simply, we were not going to be able to work through within the time requirements.
Yep.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Said it perfectly.
Did he cover it okay?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Long walk up
Yeah.
there.
You can sit down.
He's got it.
Okay. All right.
I've only been working on this thing since last April, so we're good.
That's why
Thanks,
I
Barry.
asked you.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item G,
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Southern Ohio Trenching and Excavating for the Spring Park Sanitary Sewer Pollard Mills Infrastructure Phase 4 project in the amount of $767,488 for the Department of Utilities."
So moved.
Second.
discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item H,
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and approving change order number 2 between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and C.J. Hughes Construction Company, Inc. for the 2022 Water and Sewer Capital Improvement Planned Sewer Lining and Repair Project, decreasing the contract in the amount of $22,534.78.
So moved.
Second.
Nice to see a negative expenditure.
oh, I know, I like to add, then delete.
You know, I totaled up the expenditures we have today outside of the 99 million and came up $2 million that we're spending on these various items.
Yeah, spend a lot of money.
Yep.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item I.
Reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute and submit the request and agreement for funding for the 2026 Litter Abatement Program grant through the Kentucky Department of Environmental Protection, Division of Waste Management for the Department of Public Services."
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Will this be kind of a part of your cleanup?
It will help, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is an annual grant that we get to clean up the city with, twice a year.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, item J.
Special Event Committee Appeal by Nicholas Holland, Sawstone Brewing, River Room, 224 15th Street, regarding denial of a request for the extension of Food Truck Friday into winter and for the 2026 season.
All right. Yes, sir. You'll state your name and your address for the record?
My personal or the business? My name is Nicholas Holland. I'm 630 Coppers Hollow in Moorhead, but the business is at 224 15th Street here in downtown. I didn't really prepare like a presentation or anything, but yeah, because I wasn't really sure what to expect, if it was
That's
just going to be a
fine, just
question
discussion.
back and forth thing, or I could just kind of go into some background of who we are and what we were trying to do, if you'd like that. Okay, so, we have a brewery in Moorhead, and we were approached by Eden here at the city about coming up here, and we, as a business, one of our goals was to create, like we did in town, in Moorhead, a kind of like community center kind of thing. One of our things is Prohibition ruined everything, because before Prohibition, every town had a local tavern and a local brewery, and that everybody came to, and they didn't, right? So that's kind of what our goal was as a business. We did that there. We talked to Eden about kind of the goals that she told us that Ashland had for their downtown area, to create kind of a more vibrant, just more like downtown culture, right? So, yeah, so we ended up coming up here and investing and trying to achieve that goal together. And one piece of that was, and that just background, and then kind of where we are. And so one piece of that we talked about was doing a food truck up here, and we had worked with the city about how to achieve that. And we were approved initially, and then when we sent in this one, we weren't. And so, yeah, so I guess I would like to talk through kind of where we are with it, and what I seen based on what I had seen. We got an email about some of the issues with the ordinance, how it's written, and kind of why we are where we are. And then maybe what we would like to see, or what we think would help both us and the city kind of work together on making it
Was
happen
the
for
food
everybody.
truck initially part of the negotiation for you to come here?
Well, it was something we had talked about. We certainly assumed that it was something that was possible. And we had actually, we had been working on doing this since so we started in September, August of last year. And then, so in that fall, we were already working on it with the city, and they told us at that time to wait until the spring. So we did, and we started submitting everything. And then we actually didn't get approved until middle of the summer on it. And by that time, we'd also worked on some other licensing stuff, and so that we could have the tables and chairs in front. But yeah, so that's that was part of what we went in with.
Do we need to explain the events ordinance and how that works? Or
So is this supposed to be a special event? Is that what the request is, to have the special event where they open the what is it, the alcohol?
The EDC. So
EDC.
that's actually something that I think was a bit of a misunderstanding. on our end as well about how like that was supposed to work. Like whenever we were applying to do this, we didn't know that this was an EDC event at all. And I've come to find since then, I believe that all events are EDC events as the way that it's currently written, which in our opinion kind of seems counterintuitive to like what the goals that I think both of us are trying to achieve, which is like creating, in this case, kind of smaller scale events that are just bringing people in. You know, the food trucks that we're bringing in, they're also small business owners, right? Local, some of them we bring in, like we brought in Naughty Lobster last week, and they bring in, some people drive like an hour. They have quite a following, you know. So the goal really of it was to just do kind of a smaller scale, trying to bring people downtown, right? And you know, the city itself does a lot with larger scale events, and then we just kind of think that there should be an avenue for businesses to do like a smaller scale of that. That doesn't necessarily ideally I don't think it should activate the EDC at all, because it's not like we don't want to take out the EDC. I think the main goal of it is to be able to take alcohol out and around town, right? And that's not something that we're trying to do at all.
So does, just for my knowledge, does any event trigger the EDC?
Basically, under the language of the ordinance, any event that happens within the confines of EDC activates the EDC, regardless of whether it's requested or not. That's how the current ordinance is drafted. That's correct. Todd, as ABC Administrator, is that how you interpret it?
Is anyone here from the committee to discuss what the
action
was that was taken?
I can advise exactly what the action was and how it was. Basically, here's the decision from the Special Events Committee. They said, on the scope of the event, they felt the proposal was overly broad in nature. An ongoing weekly event with no clear end date effectively establishes a standing event rather than a special event, and on an indefinite basis rather than a limited special event, which exceeds the intent of the city's special event framework. They cited an impact on parking. It says the event requires the closure of at least one and likely two public parking stalls in the downtown district. These stalls are intended for use by all downtown businesses and their patrons, with the city preparing to implement downtown parking enforcement. Dedicating these two stalls to food trucks will likely generate animosity from other business owners and the public. 3, ordinance requirement and cost implications, and they cited the EDC. Under the current ordinance, any approved event within the Entertainment Destination Center, EDC, activates the EDC for alcohol sales. This obligates the city to fund boundary monitoring, requiring 4 dedicated boundary monitors in addition to police personnel. This represents an ongoing and recurring cost to the city that is disproportionate to the scope of a single business-driven event. While the SCC is unable to approve the event at the proposed location, and alternative venues such as Broadway Square, with collaboration of other businesses during next spring summer, may provide a suitable option. And they suggested that the applicant contact Eden McKenzie to help navigate proposed ideas.
So it sounds like we might have 2 issues. One issue, any event you have that opens the EDC, which would need a potential ordinance change on that. And then the second, you're just asking to still have your food truck there on Fridays?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's what we were trying to do, like, you know, it's a couple hours a week, right? Like maybe 4 hours a week that we were trying to do that. And I actually, I don't know if you all have a copy of the appeal that I sent in, and I directly kind of, okay, I can tell you some of it if I have it here.
Sure.
For the scope of the event, Food Truck Fridays are not intended as a recurring activation or a permanent/indefinite event. We would be happy to define specific seasonal dates and submit them collectively each year to meet the city's framework for limited events. So that's something like, if there are any issues, like with how we've done anything, we can work together on it by submitting it every year, of course, like we have been. Parking impact. The use of a single parking space directly in front of our business would have minimal impact on overall parking availability downtown. The addition of a food truck encourages foot traffic and cross-shopping, benefiting surrounding businesses. We're open to limiting the setup to non-peak parking times and coordinating with neighboring businesses to ensure support. So the people that are right next to us, what we do is later in the day, and I believe we would work with them and make sure they were okay with it. And then, of course, the EDC ordinance activation and costs. We understand that under current ordinance language, any approved event within the EDC technically triggers the boundary monitoring requirement. However, our small-scale event does not involve outdoor alcohol service outside of our approved zone, additional staffing needs, or boundary management concerns. We respectfully request that the board consider an administrative clarification or exemption for small business-initiated events that do not serve alcohol outside their own defined license areas. Without this flexibility, no downtown business can host a simple community event without incurring citywide costs, an unintended consequence of the ordinance's structure. So basically what we've been talking about with that.
It sounds to me like to address the application, if consideration is to be given for the interests that they propose, there needs to be an amendment to the ordinance. I mean, under the current structure of things, it just doesn't fit the pigeonhole
Right.
that exists.
That's
That
what
doesn't mean that it's not a reasonable proposal.
Mhm.
It just means that our ordinance hasn't been set up to address what you want to do.
Right.
You know, special events, when you say fall to winter, that's no longer a special event. That's
Yeah.
a continuing operation of the same deal. And quite frankly, through the years, there has been some concern by people that invest in long-term costs of kitchen and those facilities to allow, you know, food trucks to participate on a regular basis. So there is that concern in folks that have, you know, business privilege licenses and pay taxes and all that. So that's a concern. But I think that your proposal might have some legs if there was an amendment to the ordinance. But I don't think we can approve something that the ordinance does not address.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I guess, mostly hoping to voice my concerns with the structure of it currently, and then maybe we could reapply once things are hopefully addressed.
Maybe you could submit to us what you think ought to be addressed in the ordinance to consider this type of operation.
Okay. Yeah.
If I could make a suggestion, if this board would like to consider it, Chief Kelly has brought it up as a concern to me before, and I'd be happy to take a shot at drafting some modified language to the EDC ordinance.
Well,
that
it
would
seems
help
to
address
me,
that.
you know, the idea that it's not about taking alcohol out away from the establishment is one thing, and that it would not require additional police enforcement are two, you know, serious considerations that affect the, you know, the proposition.
Yeah, one general idea that I've had is perhaps within this, and it would probably be a modification to the EDC ordinance and maybe the special events application guidelines, to where you could check a box or something whether or not the applicant would want to activate and incur the costs of the EDC. And we could certainly take a shot at trying to draft in response to those concerns and concerns Chief Kelly's brought and the SEC.
And there may need to be a standalone ordinance addressing food trucks.
We want you to succeed.
Yeah.
I hate
We
to
wanna
use
do
it.
what we can to help you.
I hate to use the term
appreciate that.
trickle-down economics, because that's not my vocabulary, but if you succeed, it helps us.
Yeah.
So we want you to succeed.
Thank you. I've always been a strong proponent of rising tide lifts all boats. The more successful businesses. So I'm actually the chair of our Main Street organization in Moorhead, Downtown Moorhead Incorporated, and I'm also on the subcommittee of Merchant Committee, and so that's just the downtown businesses. And we meet twice a month, once for DMI, one for that, and we actually work together on every single event. It's a bit of a smaller area town, but we work together on every event because we have that mentality that everybody that succeeds helps everyone else succeed in every way.
Along those lines, when you provide us your proposition, you might want to consult the other folks within the district and get input from them.
Yeah.
I'm for your success. I have visited your establishment in Moorhead,
Yeah.
and I was overjoyed when you came down here. And I'll do anything, I'll do anything I can with this board to see you succeed.
Thank you.
And whether it takes a modification or an amendment to our ordinance.
I really, just kind of speaking out of turn a little bit, I don't think this is an unnatural progression of how regulations are. So I think when somebody comes up with a new idea that doesn't quite fit the framework, I think it's a natural progression of regulatory schemes that sometimes they change and alter over the years. That's the whole point. So I know it's frustrating to some degree, and I know the SEC had expressed some frustration. I know Chief Kelly has expressed it. But I think it's a natural progression of how things sometimes work, and we'll take a shot.
But addressing the concerns that you have, we also have to address the concerns of other merchants within the district.
Yeah, like I was just saying, everything has to be fair for everybody.
Right.
But on that note, I will say that I believe that a lot of the food trucks are also, like, they also have investments, and they also pay like in taxes and things like that. So I don't know
Pay
that.
taxes wherever they're located. You're right about that.
Yeah, as long, if they're here at our business, right? So that was just one point.
Gotcha.
Chief?
And I want to work with you. I know your licensing in Moorhead
Mhm.
is a different licensing as a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
You have a different licensing for Ashland. So as we're working through this, I'm going to work with you to make sure that some of the changes you're wanting to make and activities
Mm-hmm.
meet your state ABC license.
Okay.
So some of the inquiries that I made during all this, I just want to make sure we're all have the understanding of that license is quite different than the one in Moorhead.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to, on the discussion that have Mr. Wheeler and, Chief, and for you two to draft something for us to look at the next time?
Well, I think you need to deal with the appeal too. But my recommendation, if I were to make a recommendation, would be likely to deny the appeal as
I
it's
don't think
submitted.
we have a choice about that. I think we have to
It's
deny
what the
appeal.
ordinance says, we have to
Right.
follow the ordinance.
I
mean-
make a motion to deny the appeal.
Okay, I'll second it.
Second it. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
With an eye on improving your.
Correct.
But you heard what we just said, so,
I
you know, I mean,
understood. Yeah.
but, our hands are tied by, what's already,
Well, and then whether you want to make a motion or not, either way, we'll make sure we come back with some language modification to try to, update the framework, especially with the EDC, for further consideration. So please, keep an eye out for that. That'll be up on upcoming meetings.
Okay.
Do we have to make a motion, we modify it?
Well, I
no,
would
not
just,
yet, until he comes up with a
I support you.
draft.
Thank you. I appreciate your all's time.
Thank you for your help.
All right, item K.
reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a storm line easement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Stephen Wayne Hazlett and Christopher G. Hazlett regarding a stormwater line relocation project on Beach Street."
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item L.
The mayor requests the board's concurrence on the appointment of the following to the Homeless Committee: Chuck Charles, Lynn Childers, Isham Elam, Keith Frazier, Marty Goot, Jeremy Holbrook, Todd Kelly, Mike Lambert, Mike Maynard, Audrey Meredith, Scott Murphy, Kimberly Osborne, Natalie Robbins, Zach Steele, Kyla Stockhand, Jason Swain, Rebecca Tackett, Breck Tarr, Marshall Tyson, Megan Wallentels, Dustin Wheeler, Joe
Like to
Before
add-
we move on that, we received a handout from Peggy, and there's some additional names on there. For instance, Ann Perkins was on there, but she's not on this list.
Correct. That's, I asked that we add Ann Perkins, which was just accidentally left off. And
Is
then
there
I was,
anybody else on here that's not on?
the only one is Taylor Fannin from the Boyd County Jail. She's the mental health advocate there. I talked to Mr. Hensley yesterday, and he asked that she be.
These are a lot of people, Mayor, to say the least.
I realize
You know, your
that.
board didn't actively participate. We're acting on your good faith in terms of putting these folks on.
I will keep you.
I'm sure they're all good folks.
And most of them, the reason we gave you the handout, it's not necessarily the individuals, it's more.
It's the organization they
It's the organization, what they represent. And it's such a massive, complicated problem that, I want to have everybody around the table to have a seat. And it's interesting because a lot of these organizations have never collaborated before.
A lot of them have skin in the game.
True.
And I heard about the presentation made at one of the earlier meetings. This is going to be herding cats. Good luck with it, is all.
Thank you.
Well, I think we also need to keep in mind that these are public meetings, so we can have participation
Yeah.
from anybody.
Anybody.
Right, sure.
Right.
So you want to add these people on this other list?
Yeah, I mean,
That's why he added the two, Ann Perkins and.
Well, I don't see Mary Frances Gunderson on this. I don't see Denise Paulus. I don't see Kathy Minja. I don't see Pastor G. I don't see them
No.
on this list that we.
The Brent, he's the representative, the Brett Tar.
Tar. Okay.
we're voting on the agenda as presented, right?
Sure.
Correct.
Well,
These
he
people
added-
aren't on here.
He added Ann Perkins to it, and he added
Yeah,
the Taylor.
and the Taylor
from the
Fannin.
jail.
Those are the only two. The others come to participate.
Sure.
That's fine. I mean, like you said, Pastor G and Denise Paulus, but they're not part of the committee.
Yeah,
They
You've
just
got
came-
public participants on some of these
Correct.
rather than committee members.
Yes.
So
Correct.
moved. So moved.
All right. A second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. Item M.
The mayor requests the board's concurrence on the appointment of the following to the America 250 Committee: Erica Bonner, Linda Cannon, Joy Castle, Chuck Charles, Marty Conley, Debbie Cosper, Faith Day, Ruby Deerfield, Catherine Dingus, Coy Hall, Philip Hall, Scott Hill, Susan Hunt, Kim Jenkins, John Johnson, Diva Justice, Celesta Coons, Peggy Mullins, Alan Osuch, Robert T. Renfro, Daryl Smith, Aaron Snyder, Michelle Veach, Heather Whitman, Kathy Wilson.
So moved.
Second.
And discussion, let me add that our attempt with the 250 is really to collaborate and organize all of these individuals and what events they will be doing.
Well, let me say this, if we're going to have any major event that's going to require expenditure
That'll have to
of
come.
funds, that,
Oh, yeah.
you need to bring it,
No,
here.
it's, for example, the John Johnson, he has the Bluegrass Wind Ensemble, they're doing a concert, or what goes on at the library, doing their movies, they'll be, patriotic. It's trying to collaborate all of them, together for the effort.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. All right, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
I abstain.
All right. All right, do we need to go into an executive session?
Yes, please, for an individual personnel matter and for potential litigation.
Okay.
So moved.
Second? do it. Back in session, and no action was taken during our executive session, but I will entertain a moment for a termination of 10-23-25.
I'll make a motion to terminate employee 102325.
Second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any other business need to come before the commission? Hearing none, we stand adjourned with, in memory of Jerry Johnson and
Dickie
Dickie
Martin.
Martin.